What's up, my peoples? Happy Monday, all my patriotic friends. Okay, guys, listen, I'm going to start off today to go through a couple of things that are going on 10-4. You all know 10-4 on DC. You can get the information for 10-4 on DC at 10-4ondc.com, or get a hold of Fred Bowerman or Brian Hutchins, Alan Kelly. They're going to meet at the Fredericksburg Fairground. Kentucky Drivers Association on 10-4, 9 to 4 p.m. at the State Capitol Building in Frankfort, Kentucky. You can call 502-792-9003 or get a hold of Jim Bardsley or Shelley. Indianapolis, Indiana is where I'm going to be. In Indianapolis, Indiana at the Capitol Building. Myself, Will Cook, and a couple of our friends. We're going to be there from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can contact Will Cook or myself if you're interested in being down in Indy. We've secured a location to stay for a couple of days. Just some good times, some fellowship, and we're going to go down to the Capitol and talk to them about a few things. Michigan, October 4th. They're going to meet at the Nova Truck Stop, 75 East Grand River Avenue in Ionia. They're leaving at 8 a.m. Get a hold of Deb Carter. I'm sure Deb Carter can let you guys know. South Dakota, they're going to start October 3rd, just so you're all aware. South Dakota's getting a head start, and they're making quite a long trek, 250-mile trek, I believe, down I-29, I-90. They're running the gamut there. But they're meeting October 3rd, exit 62 on I-29, and you can get a hold of Sean McIntosh, okay? The guys in South Dakota, 605-350-0352, or you can get a hold of Jeremy, 507-829-2232. Like I said, theirs is starting the 3rd because they're convoying a considerable distance, trying to spread the word and generate some interest in 10-4, their event down there at the state capitol. San Francisco, California's got one going on. You can get a hold of Edward Escobar. Edward Escobar, he's with the Drivers United people. And last but not least, my favorite one, Ridgetop, Mississippi. So if you're a sinner and you're not quite a saint, or if you got a little bit of a rough edge, or you just enjoy the company of people that are willing to tell you how it is, Ridgetop, Mississippi. You can get a hold of Joe Denny, Greg Anderson, a number of those folks. Ridgetop sounds like a place for people to get together, have a great time, and just relish in things. I know they've got something planned for the last day. So if you can be there, get a hold of Greg Anderson, Joe Denny, or any of the others. But Ridgetop, Mississippi, San Francisco, California, South Dakota, Michigan, Indianapolis, Kentucky, and Washington, D.C., 10-4 on D.C. Rounding it up. Guys, all these events were centered around 10-4 on D.C. for the simple fact everybody couldn't get to D.C., so we're going to support each other, and all of us are going to work together regardless of where you're going, what location you're going. I encourage you to get out there. So if you can be in Kentucky, be there. Be in Indianapolis with myself and Will Cook. That's where we're going to be. But on to other things. We've been talking a lot lately about the Constitution and about rights, and many of you know that I'm working on a complaint that I intend to file in federal court in January. Here's what I found. I want you all to share this because it's important that you understand this. We've often had the misconception, we all say, I didn't give away my constitutional rights when I got a CDL. And that is true. That is 100% true. But here's what happened. We gave them away under the guise of regulation. Understand that. You have rights. And if you're willing to fight for them, then those rights can be protected and upheld. But as it currently stands, you, as a professional driver with a CDL, have absolutely no rights. They can search your truck, they can stop you at random, they can do whatever they want under the guise of a pervasively regulated industry. And I want you to think about this. I want you guys really seriously to start taking this seriously, because you're going to find a lot of the answers to our problems are in this book, okay? In this document, in the Constitution. The answers to our problems are here. It's individual liberties, okay? They've taken everything that's important to us and our liberties and our rights in trucking as truck drivers under the guise of safety and being a pervasively regulated industry. In other words, an officer has the right to stop you without cause if you're in a CDL for just a random roadside inspection. Now, let's say you're a guy like me. You follow the rules to the T. You got a clean collar, baby face, skin, shave. You're looking the part. Your ride is clean. But you meet the wrong DOT cop on the wrong day. Your life will forever change. And it can forever change. Because people are fallible. Humans are fallible. But in the end, they hold all the power because you've given it to them. Read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, and I'm telling you, it says Congress is responsible for passing laws. Congress decided in their infinite wisdom to delegate the responsibility to the FMCSA. Now, I want you to think about the difference between a rule and a law. Congress passes laws. Congress creates laws. The FMCSA does not create laws. They create rules. And in my book, they've done a really bad job, and rules are made to be broken. You have an obligation as a citizen, all right, as a citizen with liberties, unless you're just going to give them all away. You have an obligation to not obey unjust laws, unjust rules, even more so. We continue to let these people delegate their authority, and they don't have the authority to delegate. They get their power from the people. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. Look, I'm telling you, get a book. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble, okay? But I picked up several dozen books. My wife's going nuts. They're all over the room. And research. And what I'm finding is we didn't give up our rights, but they've been taken from us as truck drivers. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news, but I always believed just because I got my CDL, I didn't give up any rights. I didn't. They took them without me knowing. They took them without you knowing. You have zero constitutional rights and civil rights, according to them, and they can't do that because the supreme law of the land is the Constitution. Our forefathers prepared that document. That is the supreme law of the land. In that, you have rights under the 4th Amendment, under the 15th Amendment, under the 2nd Amendment, under the 1st Amendment, and on and on and on. You have willingly sacrificed your rights to a bureaucracy, to a government agency that doesn't even have the power to write the laws and the rules that they do. Congress instructs them to. They're a bureaucracy. They're not lawmakers. Here's something else for y'all to think about, and I want you to think about this very clearly. And once you read the Constitution, it will become very clear to you. Nowhere in the Constitution is the word democracy used. You know why? Because they're individual liberties, individual rights, God-given rights. Given to the individual, not to a democracy, not to a Congress, not to a senator, not certainly. I hope you guys understand this. These rights were given to individuals. Nowhere in the Constitution will you see the word that politicians continually throw around called democracy. It doesn't exist. The founders didn't include the word democracy for a reason, because those rights are individual rights and they are to be upheld as an individual's right. An individual's right to bear arms, an individual's right to free speech, an individual's right to liberty, justice, religion, whatever. They were individual rights, God-given rights. And more of you need to start understanding that. This group isn't, Truckers for Liberty isn't a group that's about anything other than you being able to understand your rights and having people like me and Michael and others bring you the facts, okay? Help you to understand why this was written. Every one of any of you ever heard of the Federalist Papers? Because the people that wrote the Constitution, they didn't just make up these things. They put a lot of thought into it. They wrote many, many papers. Many individual thoughts and debates happened between the people that signed the Bill of Rights. All of these people wrote papers, okay? They laid out their arguments. They laid out the reasons for the arguments. They were very thoughtful when they designed this document. Ben Franklin was only 32 years old. And if you read some of the writings of Ben Franklin, you'll quickly find out that was one very smart 32-year-old man. He had a firm grasp on the world, on politics, and what could happen in the future. Read it. Understand. Until you guys understand your rights, which right now you have zero, okay? And like I said, you could be the best driver in the world. I've got nearly 3 million miles in 26 years, accident-free, ticket-free, incident-free, period, end of story. Okay? I try to be professional and do the very best I can do every day. That doesn't mean that one day I'm not going to run into a guy who's had a bad day at a checkpoint or at an inspection. Doesn't mean that you're not going to. I don't care if you drive for Werner, FedEx, Swift, Rail. I don't care where you work or how good of a driver you think you are, or whether you're a master certified driver like many of us that have worked at Walmart, okay? You are not going to be immune from a police officer who's having a bad day. You're just not. I'll take it to a case in point in Florida, right? When that young man had that bumper sticker on the back of his window and that police officer pulled him around. The police officer pulled him over and actually arrested him and violated his right to free speech. The guy had a sticker that said, I eat ass, right? That's his freedom of speech, his freedom of speech. The police officer, if you watch the video very closely, said that he didn't want his kid to see it. Well, you know what the wonderful thing about freedom and about living in the United States of America is, and what having a document as old as the Constitution, the oldest one in the world, you have a right to free speech. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it one bit. You don't have to like anything I say, or you didn't have to like the bumper sticker that was on his pickup truck. What you don't have a right to do is plot to arrest somebody because you don't agree with their speech, their words, or a bumper sticker. That's how petty people have gotten in this country, because the people that are enforcing the laws don't even understand the laws they're enforcing. Not all. Most police officers will violate your rights and not even know they're doing it because they create things. If they want you bad enough, they're going to find a way to create a violation that's going to stick, or at least enough to arrest you. And then they'll have to deal with the consequences after. But in this industry, you have zero right. And I can tell you this, don't be despaired, because there are judges in some of these cases, like the United States versus Foster, and some of these other cases I've read about truck drivers who have found themselves in a very bad situation. There are judges that have dissents that say they want to know what they're using in replace of a warrant at roadside inspection to get away with this. I'm telling you, I'm doing my research. When I file this complaint, I will have my ducks in a row, because I know how the judges that have issued dissents in a lot of these cases, I know the number one thing that they've been concerned about. And in the past, we didn't have a court that had more what's the word I'm looking for, guys? And help me say it without offending anybody. We now have a court system that's stacked in the favor of the Constitution and leans more to independent small business and the Constitution, okay? Conservative type judges who understand. Right? They understand the Constitution. They understand our rights. They've never come up with a supplement for a warrant to be able to just step into your truck and look through your stuff. They've never come up with a supplement to a warrant to detain you, to do an inspection. They've never done any of that. It's all done under the guise of regulation. It's all done under the guise of safety. Yet here in my state, you're not even required to have a motor vehicle inspection on your vehicle. And I know there are other states just like that. So, again, there are so many things you will learn if you just take the time to follow along with Truckers for Liberty. If you go out and buy, you can buy a pocket version, guys. I'll show you. You can get them for $1, but I know that Michael Pilatus is going to try to get some of these to Indianapolis and get some available. But you can buy this little pocket version, okay? And you can get them online through Mark Levin. If you go to Mark Levin's website, you'll see, and they'll send them to you, okay? It's just a little pocket Constitution, but it's easy to read. You can keep it on you. If you do get pulled over or something happens or you're in public, whether you're carrying a firearm or you're being inspected or you're pulled over by a police officer, you really need to know your rights. That's what really happened in trucking. Trucking isn't divided. Trucking isn't subjugated. Old school trucking isn't gone. They're trying to destroy it, okay? But they did it by removing our rights. That's how they did it. We're not really divided. There's those that are educated. And again, don't take this the wrong way. I don't want to offend anybody. And there are those that are ignorant to the law. They're not ignorant because they don't want to know. They're ignorant because no one's ever taken the time to talk to them, explain to them, or lay out what their rights are. We all have different levels of education in this industry. Guys like me have a way different level of education. I drive a truck because I love to drive a truck. I love the camaraderie. I love seeing the country. But the more I learn, the more I can promise you I'm doing everything I can do to not only protect my rights, but to help you understand yours. See, there's going to be pundits on every side that want to talk about rules and regulations. I no longer care about rules and regulations. They don't have a right to do half the things they do. Am I going to comment on their comment period? Yeah, I'm going to tell them that they're making some bad decisions and bad ideas, and what authority do they have to tell me when I can sleep, when I can eat, or how I can live my life? They don't have that right. They don't have a right to tell me how many hours a day I can work in the name of safety. See, we already had laws on the book. If you're going to drive like a fool and you're going to kill somebody, you're going to be charged with manslaughter. It's called vehicular manslaughter. You're going to go to prison. You're going to go to jail. We already have laws about speeding. We already have laws about reckless driving. We already have laws that hold you culpable if you commit an unsafe act. There are already laws. See, what they've done is they've compiled more laws into trucking because trucking is a cash cow. It's an easy source of income for the states through registrations, through fines, through regulation. Everything they do is in the name of safety. And they continue to get away with it because you allow them to. So I say, after 10-4, 10-4 is just a kickoff. And I hope everybody will consider joining in and participating in one of these events that's going on. Educate yourself. Be around like-minded people that can help you understand what it is you're facing. It's important. We're not divided. We have different personalities in this industry. It's not a division, it's different personalities. But we're all trying to get to the same place. We're just going different routes. I'm going my way. I'm going to meet up with my brothers on the other end. They're going their way, I'm going my way. You know, they took 49 instead of taking 20. I mean, I'm going to get to the same place they're going. You're going to get to the same place they're going. You don't have to travel the same road. You just have to have it in your mind that we all need to get there. We all need to get to that point. Okay? Like this morning, I'll give you guys examples of the kind of abuse you continue to allow. Sigma, North Carolina, tells the drivers to park across the street or across the parking lot over to another company, another business's parking lot. These men wake up to their trucks being cable booted this morning. They didn't take it upon themselves to park at a Walmart or somewhere else that's private property. They were directed to park there by Sigma when they made their deliveries, okay? So I don't want to hear they should have planned better, blah, blah, blah. Sigma told them to go here and park there. They wake up to cables being run through their wheels, and they're booted and charged $1,500 to get their trucks. Sigma should be taking responsibility for that action, not the owners of the trucks or the drivers. Sigma. It's called responsibility. They directed the drivers to park there. See, these kind of abuses, people just think they can do whatever they want to us. And you know why? Because you continue to allow them to do whatever they want to you. What authority do these men have to boot a truck? Under a contract with who? Law enforcement is responsible for enforcing laws, not renegades from towing companies. If you're illegally parked, they can tow away, do whatever they want. Still, that's what I'm saying. The logic behind it is flawed. We have laws. Laws do not park here. It's a business's right. They can contract with anybody they want. But when someone directs you to park somewhere, a business tells you that that's where you need to go. That business should now assume the liability, not the drivers that were caught off guard this morning. It's not just there, guys. It's everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're not welcome. They don't want you parking your trucks in your own front yard in some communities. Communities don't want you parking in their communities. And I tell you every day, you sooner or later, we're going to get there. You know that road I keep talking about? We're all traveling a different road. I woke up earlier in the year and I know what my path is. I know what my destiny is. I know where my place in the fight is. And that's to be a voice to help educate and help people understand we have these rights. Until you understand we have these rights, we can't continue. Others are on a different road and they're going about regulation. Others are on a different road and they're doing what they're doing, but we're all trying to get to the same place. I just figured out where my place was. I figured out where I was most beneficial to those of you that follow and to the industry. And that was to help you understand what your rights are. You need to vote. You need to be registered to vote. You need to understand what your rights are. That's what your responsibility is. They're individual responsibilities. They're not group responsibilities. A group can't help you make a decision or make a decision for you. A group can't cast a vote. You have to cast a vote. A group can't make you aware, okay, and allow you to follow your heart when you know what's right. It's just like the red flag gun laws and New York's gun laws. You know, a family member of mine was in a video, and he said clearly this right here: the legislators that are passing these laws, are they willing to stack up next to us on the front porch when we kick in the door? Because some of these people are going to believe that they have these rights, and they know that they have these rights, and they know what's happening is wrong. Are you going to stand on the front porch with us when we go through the door? And I can guarantee you none of these legislators, whether they're U.S. representatives or they're state representatives, are going to stand on the front steps with the officers that they're asking to enforce rules that these officers know are wrong. They know they go against every grain, every fiber in their bodies. But you think these representatives are going to jump up on that porch and stand with these officers when they go through the front door? They're not, because they're cowards. They won't. They're taking every one of these things for granted. You guys have to make conscious decisions. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to help you understand. Right, Mark, to be a productive citizen. To be a productive truck driver, you first have to be a productive citizen. That's what's important. So, once again, guys, remember, I'm going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana on the 4th with Will Cook. We're going to talk about a lot of these issues with the legislators in Indiana. Kentucky drivers are going to be in Frankfort. Michigan, like I said, get a hold of Deb Carter. They're meeting at the Nauvoo truck stop in Ionia. South Dakota, they're the only ones starting October 3rd with their convoy heading to their capital. Like I said, get a hold of Sean McIntosh or Jeremy. Guys, get a hold of them. 605-350-0352 for the South Dakota event. San Francisco is Edward Escobar. And again, Ridgetop, Mississippi, get a hold of Joe Denny, Greg Anderson, Daniel Doris, or any one of those guys, and just be part of something. Go out there and exercise your rights. You have a right to peacefully do these things. And again, Sean McIntosh said it best the other day. Some of you have come to the fight later on in the game, later on in life. You're learning, and you want to try to do things the right way, because before you say, I'm willing to rock an orange jumpsuit for an industry that's not going to stand up for itself, you got to make a decision. You got to find out for yourself, are they listening? Are they hearing me? Do they respect my rights? And I encourage you all. The Disrespected Truckers are a great group of guys. I know there's a lot of groups out there, but you got to sort through the noise. I'm telling you. Disrespected Trucker, Truckers for Liberty, and a couple of these other groups that are out there are great groups. They're great groups to belong to. They're awesome groups. 10-4 on DC is a great event. You should be part of it if you can be there. But if you can't be somewhere standing up for what's right. Okay, there it is. Thank you, Todd. 104dc.com is where you can get the accurate information, because I know a lot of people were confused. Fredericksburg, Maryland, and Virginia. It's Fredericksburg, Virginia is where they're meeting, so you guys understand. That's where the fairgrounds are. But 104ondc.com is where you can get the information on the 10-4 event, all right? So, I mean, I can't be in D.C. I choose to be with my friend at his cause. It's nothing personal, but I want to be with like-minded people closer to home. And Will Cook is a dear friend, and I believe in him, and I believe in what he put together. We're all standing together on 10-4. We're not divided. We're not separated. We're just going different places, but we're all trying to get to the same place. Just remember that. Just different routes. We're all trying to get there. Todd Campbell, Greg Anderson, Charlie Clayburn, Will Cook, all of them. We're all trying to get. Trucker Nation, Andrea Marks, all of them. Tony Justice, everybody's trying to get to the same place. Scott Jordan, Mike Farron, everybody has always been trying to get to the same place. They're just trying to inspire people and to push people to understand, if you remain silent, if you don't speak out, you have to accept what comes. Understand that. If you do not stand up and speak out, you then must accept what comes from your lack of participation. And I don't know if, again, I need to remind you, like I said, through my research, through case law, through understanding the industry and regulation and reading what these judges have written in their testimony in these different cases, you don't have any rights as a commercial truck driver. They can search your truck. They can stop you at random. They can do anything they want. Because the court, many of the previous liberal courts had found that because it's a pervasively regulated industry, and because these trucks are scattered all over the country and they're from different states and different parts of the country, that they have a right to do this. They don't. If you read the Constitution and you understand the truth, that is how you will win. I'm filing my complaint in federal court in January. I think a lot of you will be pleased with the arguments and some of the things that I've found and the knowledge that I've gained. I'm doing this by myself. I'm doing it with guidance from some attorneys and some people that are scholars, but I'm preparing the typing, everything, the forms on my own, and I'm filing the complaint in my own words because it's important. You guys, join Truckers for Liberty if you have not. It is not a group. It is a group to educate you on your rights. You know, I'm going to start doing live videos in there daily, just with snippets of information to help educate you. I mean, everyone's aware of the date 1776, July 4th, 1776, but they're not aware that there are 3 or 4 other dates that are equally as important, if not more important, than July 4th, 1776. Because without the Constitution, without the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence would not have survived. They would not have survived. Let me be very clear. If you read the history, if you understand, without the things that transpired after, the Declaration of Independence would have been worthless. It would have just been writings, and that would have been it. It would have been demands. It would have been people demanding their liberty and their freedom. What followed after that is what changed the course of human history. You have rights. Don't allow them to take them. Educate yourself. Truckers for Liberty, again, guys, 104ondc.com for the Washington, D.C. event. Kentucky Drivers Association, get a hold of Jim Bardsley or Shelley. Indianapolis, Indiana, myself or Will Cook, going to be at the Capitol building. We have an agenda. We have papers prepared. We have media. We have everything we need to have a successful event. I hope you all do. I know that Jeremy has reached out. I know that the guys in South Dakota, they got their media set up. They're ready to go. They have their press releases. Michigan, San Francisco, Ridgetop, Mississippi. You've got a wealth of choices and places that you can be if you're going to be out on the road in Indiana, near Indianapolis, near Frankfort, Kentucky. Just stand up, speak out. Be part of something. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be rude, but you have a right to demand in a professional, positive, well-rounded attitude that your rights be observed. Period. So protect your rights, learn your rights, and help educate others. Remember, voting is key to all this. And going forward, we're going to help you guys understand a lot of things. I hope you absorb it. I hope you appreciate it. But most of all, I hope on 10-4 that you guys all try to stand together in one way or another. Have a great day. God bless each and every one of you. Remember what our founding fathers had in mind. You have rights, but you have to protect them and you have to stand up for them. A Facebook page, yeah, Truckers for Liberty is where we're going to be having the discussions back and forth on rules, laws, on the Constitution. That's Truckers for Liberty. And like I said, the 10-4 on DC event, they've got information posted. You guys, there's all kinds of things you can do to stand up. Again, remember this. In the past, there have been things that have happened. They're irrelevant. Because here's the important thing to remember. Whether you were part of whatever group you were part of, whatever event you were part of, whatever you did up until today, whatever you've done over the last 2 years, you've all done to get to the same place. We've all done to get to the same point. We all travel in different roads. We all went different directions. We all use different methods. But the goal for the entire industry has always been to get to the same place. You're not going to agree with everything Trucker Nation does. You're not going to agree with everything that I say. But what I say and what I'm saying going forward, there is no disputing. It comes down to individuals, individual responsibility, and individual rights. I will not be corrected. I will not be found wrong. What I'm talking about and what I'm going to present and what I'm telling you going forward is all found in the document. That is what I'm going to be preaching. That is what I'm going to be educating and teaching. There's nothing to argue about in Truckers for Liberty. Freedom, liberty. That's all that's in that group. We aren't in there to talk about trucking or trucking groups. That is a group for truckers to learn and to understand their rights. That is all it is. That is all it will ever be. We are controlling the posts that are made because that group is focused on individual rights and responsibilities, from voting to understanding them. Period. There's no way for there to be a conflict. Because the only way there can be a conflict is if you don't believe you have rights and that you believe a democracy decides that. Because once again, I'm telling you, read the document. Nowhere in the Constitution will you find the word democracy ever in any sentence, in any paragraph, anywhere. You will not find the word democracy because those rights were given to the individual. They were God-given rights that cannot be taken away. The right to freedom, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and every single right that the forefathers laid out were God-given rights. I can't take them, no matter how they try, no matter how they want to dress it up. They can put lipstick on it, they can dance it, parade it up. They don't have a right to do the things they're doing, and they know it. The problem is the populace isn't willing to say, these are my rights, and you're not going to take them. So, you guys have a great day. Share the video. Please share Truckers for Liberty. Share the different events I told you on your Facebook pages. That way, if someone is in those areas, they can be there. Again, I will be in Indianapolis. I will be in Indianapolis with many, many others standing up for what I believe is right, educating the legislators and the news media on what the truth is. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your evening. Pay attention to Sean McIntosh, the disrespected trucker. If you haven't gone to the disrespected trucker, man, I encourage you to do so. Jeremy is a stand-up guy. Sean is a stand-up guy. They're all people that truly have, I believe, and it's very rare to find people that truly believe that everybody that has played a role, whether you've been in it as long as I have, 16 years, or you've been doing this for 2 or 3 years fighting for our rights. You know, some of us have been around a long time. It's easy to lump people into groups and categories, but every single person that's been involved in this fight, whether it was 2 years ago or 16 years ago, they've all chose a destination to get to, and they're doing what they feel is best. You have to respect them for that, if nothing else. You have to respect them for that, because at least they're willing to stand up for their rights. So just remember that. Don't be critical. Just remember, guys like me, I'm trying to get to the same place Todd Campbell's going, same place Tony Justice is going, same place Sean McIntosh is going, same place you're all going. We're all trying to get there because we want to see a change so badly that our passions have overwhelmed us. And when you lose control of your emotions, that's when things go sideways. I have learned that better than anybody in this industry, I can promise you. You need to be well-rounded, educated, understand what it is you're saying and talking about. Understand that you just have to be truthful, honest. Present the facts as they are, and you won't lose this fight. Just keep going. I don't care how you're going. I'll see you there. I promise you. We're all going to get there together because something's happening. There's a change happening out there, and I've been watching it. And because of people like Sean, and because of people like Jeremy, and because of people like Todd and others that have decided that they just really want nothing more than to make the industry a better place, and that passion consumes all of us. The passion, the fire has consumed me on more than one occasion. But I've learned that if I don't keep my emotions in check, I can't continue to bring you a message that will be of any use. Because if I'm just angry and pointing fingers and jumping up and down, I have lost any usefulness I have to my fellow drivers. The same as Sean is trying to say, and Jeremy's trying to say, and Todd's trying to say, and Brian Hutchins has been trying to say, and Greg and Joe, all of us have been trying to say one thing. For a long time now, the one thing that's been echoed, that is the truth that all of us have said. They don't have a right to do what they've done. They didn't have a right to do what they did, and what they've done and are doing is wrong. I am not willing to settle for a step in the right direction. I don't know about the rest of you, but because of this, because of what I'm learning, because of what I know, because of what I'm finding and what I'm hearing out there, I am not willing to settle for a step in the right direction. I believe it betrays everything that is God-given, everything that is right. I'm not willing to settle for a step in the right direction. If you are, keep fighting, do your thing, keep doing it. But I don't believe that I'm willing to settle. But keep fighting. Everybody keep fighting for what's right. Keep fighting for whatever you can get. Claw, dig, kick, scream, yell, educate, whatever it is you need to do. My path is to educate from here forward each one of you on what is really right. And what is right is this. This is right. This is the supreme law of the land. They've said it a million times. That's where we're going to find our rights and our answers. So you guys, again, be safe, be courteous, be professional. Consider being at one of these events. Join Truckers for Liberties. Join the Disrespected Trucker. Follow along. On 10-4, there's going to be massive live feeds from all over the place. I hope you all can keep up. But we're going to have a special event Friday night when it's all over that I hope you will all participate in. We'll get more details. But Friday night, there's going to be a special roundtable event that I hope you all be part of with many of the members that participated in the events, whether it was 10-4 on D.C. and Washington, or you were in Indianapolis, or you were in Kentucky. To just summarize, because remember, this is just a kickoff. What's to come is going to last the whole year of 2020, man. From January 2020 forward, you need to be ready, you need to be armed, and you need to be educated, because a lot of decisions you're going to be asked to make are going to matter. So, to every one of you warriors out there, no matter which way you're going to get there, I'll see you there. I'll see Todd Campbell at the finish line. I'll see Tony Justice at the finish line. I'll see Brian, Greg, and Joe Denny at the finish line. Because no matter how you're willing to fight, no matter which direction you're choosing to go, you're going to get there. Why? Because you haven't backed down, you haven't given up, you haven't given in, and you're still fighting. We're all going to get there together. In the end, we will all arrive at the same place. Hopefully, each one of us that have chosen to speak out and chosen to be a voice understand that our words matter and that everything we do has an effect on the entire industry. Because, face it, people want something to look for, something to look up to, something to believe in. That's what they're watching. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for those voices of reason that can give them the tools they need to join you in the journey, to join you in the trip to the final destination. Todd Campbell, you know it, I know it, Brian knows it. Many of us that have been doing this with passion, love, and honor understand these people are willing to go the distance, but you've got to give them something more. You've got to show them that you can shut out the negativity. You can shut out the chaos, that you're man enough to pick up the phone and call somebody when you have a dispute. You all need to understand that our words and our actions matter to those that are watching us. That's what's important. We're all going to get there together. So I encourage you, again, if you can be in 10-4 and you can be in D.C., go to the 10-4ondc.com website. Just look at it. It's not going to kill you. You don't have to agree with everything. Again, you don't. You don't even have to like half the people that are there. What they're doing is important. What they're doing is right. You know, they tried to do it a different way, and people have diluted it and forced them into a corner where they have to try to find a way to use the event because it's important. They believe it's important. I believe it's important. So get there. If you can be in D.C., by all means, God, get there. Reach out to Todd Campbell, Alan Kelly, reach out to Brian Hutchins, reach out to Trish, reach out to any of these people, Fred Bowerman. If you can be there, be there. I'm certainly not going to think any less of you because you went to Washington, D.C. I've been there a million times. That's why I've chosen a different path. That's all. I know what my place is now. But if you can be in Kentucky, Indianapolis, Michigan, I mean, all over the place, guys. Just stand up, speak out, or accept what comes. That's all that matters. We're all going to get there. So, God bless each one of you. Thank you, all of you that watch. Thank you, all of you that have gone to Truckers for Liberty, that are going to follow along with the lessons and the information, and hopefully you'll learn some things that you'll be able to apply. Had a guy the other day, after watching my very first video, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to share the message later. His insurance company wanted to put a GPS tracker on his truck. They wanted to. and he told them that they couldn't do it. It was a violation of his civil rights. They backed off and they didn't make him do it, but they were trying to tell him he did. And right now he doesn't have a tracker on his truck for that reason. So think about it. If he didn't know until he watched that first video, and he remembered what I said, and out of the blue this happened to him. So remember, know your rights, exercise your rights, stand up for your rights. You guys have a great night. God bless. I'll catch you all Friday. I know Will Cook and others, and Sean McIntosh and all these others will be doing videos. Alan Kelly, all of them will be doing videos about their events. Try to catch them. Try to support them. Share all of these videos because they all have an important message. We're all trying to get to the same place, just taking different routes. So share all of them. Every bit of information, every voice that's heard is going to make a difference. Hats off to the disrespected trucker, Sean McIntosh, Jeremy. Hats off to the guys at 104 DC. Hats off to the guys at Black Smoke Matters and the Black Smoke Mafia. Hats off to every single one of you that have had the guts to stand on your convictions. Because no matter how you did it, you did it. And when they told you you couldn't do it, you did it anyway. So, God bless each and every one of you, and keep fighting. Peace.